Hello there, Nate here with the Volunteer Tech Vlog on the Live Sound 101 YouTube channel. This is a media report for August 20th, 2017, and I'll start off with dB/SPL. So dB/SPL A-weighted slow as measured from the back of the room, maxed out at 84.3 during the music, and just from keeping an eye on it, it was between 62 and 68 on average for the sermon, at times jumping up to 70. But just to get a feel for how loud we try to keep the service. 84.3 is pretty low for music, actually. We were using in-ear monitors for the worship leader, Josh. So that was a big contributing factor. And actually during rehearsal, we didn't even have any of the monitors really on until the very tail end. So the only reason we put some monitors in there was just for the other musicians to be able to kind of get a reference point. But we used one in-ear, we used a hotspot, and then the other two monitors we strategically, the floor wedges, we strategically located close to the people that really needed to hear them to kind of keep the monitor levels down overall. So yeah, we were able to clearly hear the mix in the room and keep levels way down with the use of the hotspot in the in-ear. So that was good. We used the Hansonic electronic drum. So Tim was using that. It's almost like an electronic djembe type of deal where you can change, it's got different like pad locations and you can play the thing. You can, it's essentially an electronic drum, but played djembe style. And that seemed to work well for the group. I mean, don't love the sound of electronic drums in general. I didn't really monkey with it too much, but it did the job. Let's see the effects on the Yamaha TF5. So in the broadcast mix, on the scene that I recalled, the preset I recalled, Josh's mix was mix D. So you press D and you get his ensemble, and there's a bunch of automatic things that just kind of happen in the background. And one of the things that happens is effects, reverb on FX1 automatically gets applied to the broadcast mix. And it's not necessarily easily apparent, the workflow for increasing or decreasing the effects or the reverb on the broadcast mix. So what you have to do is you have to actually go to, the thing that's tricky is, so I'm in the broadcast mix. Let's pretend I hit broadcast. So all my faders switch to the broadcast mix. Boom, simple, got it. And then I hit the Q on the master fader, and then I'm hearing the broadcast mix. And if I want to then adjust the effects and hear the adjustments I'm making on the reverb real time, how do I then go do that? Well, the fader, if I solo the fader, that's dry. So how do I hear the dry fader combined with the reverb fader, the wet effects? Well, then you have to go to this other screen and you have to edit the effects and change how much you're sending it up there. So I still have to wrap my head around the workflow there and make sure I fully understand it, because the effects is being applied both individually to each to specific vocal mics on that preset, but then effects is also being applied to the entire broadcast mix. So the main aux send is also an effects send to, it's a send to FX1, which is reverb. So if you wanted to completely kill the effects, you could just turn it off. But what I guess I need to kind of work through the workflow there and understand how to do it. I think I got my head wrapped around it now, but I didn't know how the effects was patched in at first. So that was a little bit of a learning curve for me that I'm working on. Haven't done a whole lot of reverb. I've done a couple videos mentioning how we're gonna handle effects with the TF5, because there's different ways you can go about it. Media Loft is pretty messy. We definitely need another cable management session. We're testing out some new equipment. So, we've got some wireless antennas, some RF antennas kind of temporarily mounted on mic stands. We've got a couple new SDI cameras, stationary fixed cameras up there that Josh has been testing. So there's cables just run across the Media Loft. So we should have another cleanup session soon. So, and speaking of RF, I monitored the broadcast mix pretty closely for RF dropouts. So during the sermon, I was soloing the lav mic and just listening, and I didn't hear any RF dropouts. Usually we have these RF dropouts, And I'm just wondering, ever since we installed these new temporary antennas and we're kind of messing around with the locations of these RF antennas, I didn't notice any dropouts this time. I guess Josh said that there were dropouts with the new antennas, but I didn't notice any on this recording. And I got a couple more things I want to talk about, but I'm gonna get driving as I chat about these other couple things with you guys, for anyone who's still watching the video. Did not notice any RF dropouts. Had Andrew up there, new trainee that is kind of learning the ins and outs of the system, kind of learning the ropes. Had him listening as well. But yeah, did not notice those. I would be interested to go back and listen to some of the recordings from the last 2 weeks just to see if there were any. It's possible that there could be RF dropouts when if that belt pack isn't positioned in the right place. Now, one of the things I did notice on the recording was we're using a new room mic, and I can definitely hear the difference of the new room mic. So why do we have a room mic? Just kind of like a mic that we leave open in the back of the room. It doesn't go into the main mix. It just goes to recording and in-ear monitor. So there's two main reasons we have a room mic. And I'll talk about how that room mic changed recently. So the first reason for the room mic is for ambience in the recording. So to get kind of the audience singing, audience participation, just the ambient feel of the room. We got that mic set in the back there to give kind of ambience to the recording. Then the second reason for the room mic is to really for that same purpose, but to give ambience to the in-ear monitors. So Josh was using in-ears today. He wanted that room mic to be piped into his in-ear so he can kind of hear a little better about what's happening in the room. So those are reasons for it. Now, for the last few months, we've just had like an SM58 as a room mic at the back. And what we've done more recently, the change, was I actually found our old gooseneck microphone. It's like an Audio-Technica gooseneck mic. Or might be a Sennheiser. I think it's an Audio-Technica though. Yeah, I think our main gooseneck is a Sennheiser. And this one that I found in a box recently, I had been looking for a while, is an Audio-Technica. So we switched it out. So we went from having a SM57 room mic to an Audio-Technica condenser gooseneck mic as a room mic. And I think it works pretty well. The only downside is we had somebody who was a frequent or avid pen clicker. So they had one of those clicky pens and they were doing the and I can tell you that the gooseneck mic picked that thing up really, really well. So yeah, it's one of those things where I think if it's a controlled environment, I think that gooseneck mic actually works pretty well as a room mic. But then one of the downsides is because it works so well, it picks up a lot of detail. Maybe it picks up a little too much detail because I'm hearing the pen clicking. Now, I'm not sure if the pen clicking was coming from the control room, because I think, not to mention any names, I think there was somebody up in the control room clicking a pen. But it could have been somebody down in the back row doing their little pen clicky noises. So just something to be aware of, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what the right answer is, but yeah. So Andrew was up there. He was helping out, monitoring the broadcast mix with me. He was also controlling the PTZ camera. We weren't actually live streaming or recording with the TriCaster, but he was kind of sitting in the producer's chair, the TriCaster chair, and he had the little joystick, and I was kind of showing him how to zoom in, zoom out, pan left, pan right. So he was kind of going through the motions, and as if we were doing like an iMag situation or a live stream or video record. You know, everything was set up, but it was just kind of in monitor mode. It wasn't actually recording or live streaming. But definitely good to have some new recruits up there interested in learning the system. So it's good to have Andrew up there. And I made I let him know about these report videos that I'm making here, in case he wants to go back and kind of hear me banter and give reports about what's been happening up in the media loft and with the media team and committee and all that fun stuff. So, yep, that's about it for this media report. It is a beautiful day. I think we're either going to go to a car show or go swimming. Not sure which. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Always love to hear your feedback and comments. And I will see you in the next video. Oh man, I never hit that button.